Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, was more than just a musical icon. He was a force of nature, a man with insatiable appetites and a zest for life that was as legendary as his music. Yet here we stand, contemplating the man behind the myth and realizing that even his most devoted fans might be surprised by just how unconventional he was. Forget the carefully curated image of the singing star. Elvis was a man who lived life on his own terms, with a heart full of love for food, cars, women, and the spotlight. To truly understand Elvis, one must first acknowledge his love affair with food. Not just any food, but a culinary adventure that bordered on obsession. His friends would tell you that Elvis's relationship with food was not just about sustenance. It was an expression of joy and art form. For Elvis, eating was a celebration, and he wasn't afraid to show it. His appetite was legendary, and not just for the obvious tastes of the South where he grew up. He craved the finer things in life too: fine cars, exquisite women, and experiences that left an indelible mark. Take, for instance, the legendary Prez dining experience. Forget formal dinners, Elvis invited his friends to a show, a spectacle where the main course was anticipation and the appetizers were drama. Picture this: you're waiting downstairs, the tension building, as the king himself makes a grand entrance around 4 p.m. for breakfast. You're not just dining, you're part of the entertainment. This was Elvis's way of making everyone feel special, yet utterly bewildered. And let's not forget his famous but simple yet indulgent favorite, the family buttermilk biscuits. These weren't just biscuits, they were a tribute to his grandmother, a recipe passed down through generations. Elvis loved these biscuits so much, he even brought his grandmother, Minnie May, to Germany just so she could bake them for him. To Elvis, these biscuits symbolized love and comfort, a connection to his roots. Each bite was a reminder that happiness, much like his love for food, was enough. But Elvis wasn't just about the food, he was a man of experiences. He craved the thrill of the unexpected, the rush of adrenaline that came with living life on his terms. He once told his friend Bob Willingham about the perfect way to host a dinner party: make your guests wait, keep them guessing, and make a grand entrance. For Elvis, life was one big party and he was the host. Elvis's connection to Hollywood was deeply personal. It was a place where he could be himself, where the spotlight was always on and the world was his stage. There's a famous anecdote about Sophia Loren, one of Hollywood's glamour icons, who couldn't resist the charm of the young Elvis. One day at the Paramount lot, Sophia found herself drawn to Elvis, even though she didn't know him. She was captivated by his charisma, and in a moment of impulsiveness, she swept him off his feet, literally, in the middle of the commissary. It was a moment of pure, unadulterated joy, a snapshot of two stars connecting in the simplest yet most profound way. Elvis's relationship with fame was unique. Unlike many celebrities who shy away from the limelight, Elvis thrived on it. Jerry Schilling, one of his close associates, noted that Elvis loved being Elvis. He embraced his fame, using it to express himself and connect with his fans. For him, the spotlight was not a cage but a platform. He was the pioneer, the one who paved the way for future stars. Patty Perry, a young fan who crossed paths with Elvis in 1960, offers a glimpse into his more personal side. At just 15, Patty was drawn to Elvis's confidence and style. Their initial encounter was playful, with Elvis inviting her to a party after sensing her sassy attitude. What followed was a friendship that transcended the usual star-fan dynamic. Elvis saw something in Patty that reminded him of a little sister he never had. He introduced her to his inner circle, treating her with a kindness and respect that was rare for a celebrity of his stature. Elvis's life was a testament to living authentically, to embracing every aspect of life with passion and enthusiasm. His love for food, his zest for grand entrances, and his genuine connections with those around him paint a picture of a man who was unapologetically himself. In a world where many strive to fit in, Elvis stood out, a beacon of individuality and joy. As we reflect on Elvis Presley, let's not just remember the music or the memorabilia. Let's celebrate the man who lived life with an open heart and an open mouth, who taught us that sometimes the best way to live is to eat, love, and be seen. Elvis was more than a star. He was a reminder that life is too short to be anything but extraordinary. In the world of Hollywood glamour, few designers have left as indelible a mark as Edith Head, though even her creations paled in comparison to the imaginative flair Elvis Presley brought to his own wardrobe choices. Initially, Elvis's style was as wild and untamed as his music, reflecting his roots in the back roads of Georgia. However, as he transitioned into more mature roles, he sought a new image befitting a grown man. This change came around 1960 when he started collaborating with the renowned Hollywood tailors Devore and Jack Taylor, after being gifted some of Devore's exquisite shirts by Nancy Sinatra, the daughter of Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra played a crucial role in steering Elvis towards high-end fashion. After returning from the army, Elvis was introduced to Sinatra's circle, and it was here he first encountered the exquisite tailored suits of Devore. Devore was a master tailor who worked with the creme de la creme of Hollywood, crafting suits for legends like Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., and of course, Frank Sinatra himself. These suits were more than just clothing, they were a statement of status and sophistication. Devore's attention to detail was legendary. If a suit didn't meet his exacting standards, he would discard it entirely and start over. This perfectionism extended to keeping patterns locked away safely, even going so far as to store them in strongboxes to protect against fire. Elvis's wardrobe makeover with Devore came at a steep price. For the movie It Happened at the World's Fair, the cost was a staggering $9,300, which included 10 suits, 2 cashmere coats, and 55 ties. To put this in perspective, Bob Hope joked that one could choose between a Rolls-Royce, a luxurious Beverly Hills home, or a suit from Devore. Elvis, ever the fashion enthusiast, often bought multiple suits at once, sometimes 15, to keep up with his dynamic lifestyle. Jack Taylor, another legendary tailor who continues to influence young Hollywood today, also crafted suits for Elvis during this period. Taylor reminisced about the golden age of Hollywood when entertainers valued clothing as much as their performances. He recalled how even simple outfits like suits and ties were worn to lounge around the house, a testament to the era's sartorial standards. Taylor was known for his meticulous attention to detail, especially when dressing the likes of the Duke of Windsor. He remembered the Duke as a man who exuded elegance, regardless of his size, thanks to his well-tailored tweeds. Taylor had a unique story about Jackie Gleason, another fashion icon of the time. Gleason's love for tailored jackets was so intense that every time he was fitted for a new jacket, 3 additional jackets in varying sizes were made, accounting for his fluctuating weight due to his love of drinking. Gary Grant, known for his circus acrobatics, was Gleason's go-to tailor, and Taylor often made multiple suits for him in one sitting. As Elvis donned these sophisticated suits, it was time for him to meet his match in the glamorous world of Hollywood actresses. One such meeting was with Ann-Margret, a woman whose presence and spirit matched his own exuberance. Their first encounter took place on a soundstage, with both dressed in understated yet stylish outfits, a stark contrast to their public personas. George Sidney, their director, hoped their on-screen chemistry would spark the success of Viva Las Vegas. The initial meeting was casual yet charged with potential. Elvis and Ann-Margret exchanged quiet, polite greetings, immediately finding common ground in their shared shyness. They discovered they were kindred spirits, both moving to the rhythm of their music and finding solace in each other's company. As they worked together on Viva Las Vegas, their connection grew stronger. They played characters named Lucky and Rusty, whose lives intersect in a dance of competition and mutual admiration. Their off-screen chemistry was just as captivating. Ann-Margret described their relationship as electric, noting how they mirrored each other's movements while dancing, reflecting their identical passion for music. Both were taken aback by their instant connection, feeling an undeniable force between them. As their relationship blossomed, Elvis took the initiative to get to know Ann-Margret better, ensuring she was alone when he asked her out. Their first date was with a group, maintaining a sense of innocence and safety. Elvis was protective, ensuring they were never truly alone, a habit that continued as their relationship grew. He even went so far as to ask around before inviting her out, checking if she was available, showing a side of him that was thoughtful and considerate. Their time together was filled with joy and adventure. One memorable moment involved Elvis giving Ann-Margret a ride home on his Harley, only to run out of gas in the middle of nowhere. A gas station attendant, recognizing Elvis, filled the tank and even got an autograph in return, all adding to the charm of their young love story. Later, Elvis settled the bill, a gesture that spoke volumes about his character and respect for those around him. Through it all, Elvis's transformation from a wild, unpolished rockabilly star to a sophisticated man of taste was evident. His partnership with Ann-Margret was just one chapter in his journey, showcasing not only his evolving style but also his capacity for deep, meaningful connections. Elvis Presley's life was full of excitement, but it was never boring. He was a rock and roll star who made movies too. Between 1956 and 1969, he was in 33 movies. These movies made him lots of money, probably over $200 million. But making so many films wasn't always fun for Elvis. The work was repetitive, like making the same TV show over and over, but in movie theaters instead. Still, from this work, many great songs came out. Songs like Love Me Tender, Jailhouse Rock, and Can't Help Falling in Love were born from his movie roles. Elvis had a unique ability. No matter what role he played, he could sing his heart out. Some people think we should look at Elvis's movies differently. Instead of seeing them as just movies, think of them as a way to show different sides of Elvis. He could be the dashing bachelor, the rugged race car driver, or even a helicopter pilot. He was always himself, just dressed up in different roles, and he always looked great doing it. But the truth is, even if we look past the quality of the movies, what matters most is that Elvis was there on screen. Seeing him, hearing his voice, and seeing his performances was enough for many fans. The movies were less about the story and more about the star power of Elvis Presley. For Elvis, however, the movie life had its downsides. He felt like he was living more as a character than as himself. He once said he felt like he was playing the same roles over and over. This made him feel a bit trapped. Despite this, he kept going because the music and the fun of being on screen were too good to resist. Elvis's relationship with Ann-Margret was also a big part of his life. They met while making a movie called Viva Vegas. At first, Ann thought Elvis wanted to go on another motorcycle ride, but instead, he surprised her with a bicycle ride through the hills. This showed fans a more private side of Elvis, one that was gentle and thoughtful. As they grew closer, it became clear both Elvis and Ann felt a deep connection. They were soulmates, but their lives were already filled with other commitments. Elvis had his family in Priscilla, while Ann was tied to her career. They knew it wouldn't work out, but that didn't make it any easier. Elvis even told his friend Esposito that Ann was the woman he couldn't stop thinking about. Despite their love, they both knew they had to let go. Elvis was heartbroken, but he understood. They remained friends, and Elvis never stopped sending Ann flowers every time she performed in Las Vegas. For both of them, their love story ended in a way that was all too familiar, as a beautiful but tragic tale. In the end, Elvis's life showed us that sometimes love just isn't enough to change the path life has set for us. But his music and his films live on, reminding us of a time when rock and roll was new and exciting, and a man named Elvis captured the hearts of millions. Elvis may have faced challenges that most of us can't even imagine, but his spirit, his music, and the memories of his life continue to inspire people today.